Good morning, everyone. Adele here from Your Healing Path and Dare to Be Authentic. And if you've been in the group long enough, you already know that. Thank you to everyone who commented on yesterday's question. What I've been able to do from that is ascertain that there are three fairly key aspects to what makes people nervous. But before I go on, again today what I'm going to do once I get off the live feed is I'm going to repost part 2 of the series that I did in April. So part 2 actually deals with how you can work through a specific, hey Nicole, great to see you here, how to deal with a specific issue of self-doubt. So there is the DARE worksheet. And then there's a blank document where you can sort of basically look at a specific issue that you have with self-doubt or nervousness, and I'll explain that in a minute, and then work through it. So I will repost part 2 from April's series, and I will repost this document. So effectively, guys, by the end of the week, you'll have almost like a mini course on how to overcome self-doubt and become more confident. So what I'm hoping to do is to post all of the information in one single post so that you can work through it. So when I asked the question yesterday about what makes you nervous, nervous is the much more gentle version of fear. It's almost like it's the first indicator that you're afraid of something, but it's a really gentle one, generally, unless you sort of, get really nervous and anxious, which then goes and escalates. So what I've tried to do is address why those fears could potentially be there based on what you guys commented. There's actually 3 aspects, and I indicated what they are in a post I put up earlier just before coming live. And they are the fear of the unknown. So what you can't see or what you don't know. So that was, Ben said dark water. Never know whether you're serious or not, Ben, but that's okay. Myself, it's like, when you're in the water and you feel things brushing up against you and you've got no idea what it is and you do the spider dance in the water and that sort of thing. Fear of the unknown, fear of what you can't see. That speaks to, when we take that into real life situations, not that things brushing on your legs aren't real life, because it is. Fear of the unknown is about not having control or feeling that you don't have control in a given situation that you're faced with. I don't know what's going on with this mop this morning. And that's, feeling like you don't have control over a situation can be scary as all get out. You sort of, you go along in life making decisions, planning, doing whatever, and then something comes up and you've got no idea and you have no control over what's going to happen. And that can raise nervousness, it can raise fear, it can raise doubt because you don't know how, you don't know what actions you need to take. So that's fear of the unknown, not having control over what could potentially happen in your future. Then we have fear of the known. So when we're talking about fear of the known, we're talking about phobias, really. You kind of have an idea, or you've experienced, you've had a negative reaction to a particular situation, and you kind of know what the outcome is because you've experienced it before. So fear of the known it speaks to history, and it also speaks to your potential. So what I mean by that is your potential. If you're experiencing something and you have to make a decision. Yeah, it's a big one. I'm so pissed off with my hair this morning, I can't even begin to tell you. Right. If you know that something's happening and you have to make a decision and you've had past experience on this particular kind of outcome, then who laughed at me just then? Who laughed at me? I'm not sure who it was, but someone just laughed at me. And that's fine. When you're looking at potential, or when you're looking at fear of the known, you're looking at the potential for success, the potential for failure, and not knowing how to possibly do it differently so you don't have the same outcome you've had before. So you're speaking to your own past. So fear of the unknown speaks to the future. Fear of the known speaks to the past. By far, what came out of that, which I thought was really, really lovely, when we're talking about being nervous rather than fearful, it takes a lot of the pressure off, and you can sort of look at things on a day-to-day level. Because if I'd come to you guys with that question saying, what are you scared of? We would have had very different outcomes, I think. But let's look at just what makes you nervous as the first stepping stone to overcoming what makes you nervous, what makes you scared, what makes you doubt your movements, on how to overcome those things. So by far, the responses yesterday were all to do with exposing who you are, or exposing aspects of yourself that you're not sure of. Self-confidence, self-esteem, potentially. And so I am referring to notes just over on the side. Public speaking, singing in public, dancing, meeting new people, social anxiety, rejection. They are all to do with exposing yourself and being slightly fearful of what that might mean. When we're looking at that, we're looking at expectation, your own expectation of yourself, and rejection. If I am who I am, will I be rejected for it and shot down? Both of those things are about being judged. It's probably one of the most awful things that we don't acknowledge for ourselves is the fear of being judged for who we are and for what we do and what we're capable of or what we're incapable of. So we then went on yesterday to sort of talk about a little bit about, too much or not enough. Again, being who you are, being your true self. Is that going to be perceived as being too overbearing or too scary to someone or too much? Or is it going to be that it's not enough? That potentially you lack knowledge or you lack composure or you lack intelligence? Here's the thing. Are you more worried about what other people will think of you? Judgment from other people? And if that's the case, what do you think about yourself in those areas? Because that's what it comes back to. That's what it always comes back to. It's what you think of yourself. Because if you can get over the idea that someone else's opinion of you is more important than your own opinion of you, then you're home free. Truly. Because ask yourself this. If no one else's opinion mattered, how would you behave? If no one else's opinion impacted who you want to be, what would you become? Remove the air of judgment And I'm not talking about the judgment that you believe will come from other people. Remove the judgment of you. Yes, Nicole. I'm so posting a meme later on. And yes, you'll know what I mean when I do it. It's very easy for me to say, stop worrying what other people think. It's very easy for me to say it. It's not that easy for me to do either. I just want to put that out there, right? So it's not, I never sit here as some, freaking guru on a mountaintop and tell you that I've got all of this shit worked out, because I don't. However, what I do remind myself of regularly when I do experience these things is, hello Victoria, is, am I worried about someone else judging me? Generally, yes. What does that say about what I think about myself? What aspects of me, and this is what I want you guys to ask yourselves, what aspects of me and my personality do I still not accept as being essentially who I am? Because if you can't accept that these aspects of you exist, how do you expect anyone else to? Because you go out there and you're nervous about being who you are. And that exacerbates the problem. And people pick up on that. And even if they don't, there are nasties out there that are happy to point out the shit that you've got going on. Seriously. So start looking at these aspects. Start looking at the things that make you nervous. Why do they make you nervous? Do they make you nervous because you have a fear of the unknown, which is a fear of the future? Or do you have a fear of the known, which is based on your past, which could be limiting beliefs, boundaries, everything, a lot of stuff that we've already talked about? Or are you afraid of exposing who you really are? And if you're afraid of that, then what aspects of yourself are you not really ready to accept? So, if you guys are willing to comment on the post about which aspects of fear stop you becoming confident and why, if you're willing to do that, awesome. Because as you hear me say all the time, I say a lot of things all the time, yeah? Acknowledging it is the first step to overcoming it. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to put my hand up and say, I get shit scared that I am way too much for people to handle. That if I am my true authentic self, it's going to put people on their ass for a week and a half. That aspect of me is something I'm still embracing. If you find the aspect of you that you're finding difficult to embrace, and if you feel brave enough, comment on the post that I made this morning. And allow it to start diffusing. Allow it to start diffusing. It's once you name it, it stops holding as much power. It's the stuff that we keep bottled down deep inside that drives us. Once you pop the cork on that and let it all out, it doesn't hold power. So if you want to stop these things from holding power over you and the way you choose to live your life, name it. And then start letting it go. And that process starts the minute that you name it. Hello, Lisa. Wise one. Ooh, I feel like I should be wearing like a caftan and sitting cross-legged, which I can't actually do. It hurts. It hurts to sit cross-legged. I meditate lying in bed. No joke. So guys, if you want to take up that challenge for yourself, I'm just reading that again, Lisa, and just killing myself laughing. If you want to take up that challenge for yourself, I think that you'll find that the relief of the release as soon as you write what it is that is stopping you from moving forward. So, I think that's it. I went to say a so, and there is no other so, except have a fabulous day. Think about the fact that if you're nervous about something, it actually means that you have a degree of fear associated with whatever that action is. And then think about why that fear is there. Is it a fear of the unknown, which is a fear of the future? Is it a fear of the past? Or is it a fear of exposure, which actually combines both? Because when we're talking about a fear of exposure, it does... Hi, Wendy! Very nice to see you on the feed. When we're talking about fear of exposure, it does actually speak to both the past and the future. So you may be worried because you've had a bad reaction in the past and you don't know how it's going to go moving forward. Here's a hot tip for you. If you do something differently, you will have a different outcome. Not such a hot tip. You hear it all the time, right? But try that. If you have done something or tried to step forward into your authenticity and you've been shot down, maybe just do it a little bit differently. And that's not about changing who you are. That is about modifying your communication method so that it gets heard. Think about that for a while. I did do a video on this quite some time ago as well, so we may replay that one next week. If you've been shot down, two things. The person that has done that to you is not ready to hear what you have to say, or they have, my absolute pleasure, Wendy, or you have actually rubbed them the wrong way. So that's about them, but it affects you because you've been hurt, because you've been shot down. So next time you want to do it, two things: approach the right people, expose yourself to the right people who are not going to shoot you down but are going to nurture you, that are going to encourage you to keep going on your journey until you have enough confidence to expose yourself. I'm on a roll here. Expose yourself to the people who are prepared to shoot you down. But you're so confident by that stage that it doesn't even touch the sides. So start small. Start with people that you trust. Start with people that understand. Start in a safe space, which is this group. And start gaining your confidence where you're not going to get shot down, where you're going to be encouraged to continue the incredible journey that is your life. Wow, I'm just really on a roll now, aren't I? Have only had one sip of green juice too. So, I think that's it for me. Do it, guys. Do it. It'll be the most incredible, fucked up, wild ride you've ever been on. But it is so worth it. Once you get over each little road speed bump along the way, it's amazing. So start today. Start small. Think about it. Make a comment on the post. Start small. I'm going to go and finish my magic juice. Going to go and put some more posts in the group. And I look forward to what you guys have to contribute to that thread this morning. Have a fabulous day. Mwah. I will see you all tomorrow with part 3 of this series. And as always, I sincerely hope that you're finding benefit from it all. Love you all so much, from my heart to yours. Have a fabulous day. Bye.